You want some financial advice? Buy Tesla. You get all that political crap, people.
Hi, TikTok. So I just wanted to follow up on that content creator who put the word sellout in the comment. You should be able to see that in the content. And I want to just make sure that I have a little 2 cents to put in there. So I am not a financial advisor, but I know brands and I know what makes a brand fail. And when Damien says it's not political, he is strongly incorrect in saying that, because it's not just political for the United States, because this is the home of Tesla, but it is political globally. So there are not just the United States people who are causing Tesla stock to fall. It is every country where Tesla is being sold. Cars are being demolished. Car dealerships are being trashed. People are protesting in the street against Tesla. They're not going to let this die. And the fact that Damon says it's okay, it'll be all right in the future, does not change anything. What Tesla's going to have to do is they're going to have to clean the disdain of their company off the record books. So in order to do that, they need to sell their company to someone else, change the name, change the logo, change the way they market and apply markets, because what they have now is a cluster and it's not going to go away anytime soon, because there are people who are out there who actually have descendants, direct descendants of the time that happened during World War II. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to be banned off of TikTok. But there are people who still have that fresh in their minds. And they're going to pass down to their children and their children's children what happened in 2025 with that man. So if you buy the stock, good for you. If you lose money, that's your darn fault. Tesla's not making a comeback. Just remember that. That is one brand that is going down the toilet, and it's going down the toilet fast. Tesla needs to make a change in order to change their image, because that's one brand that's not coming back. And when that brand doesn't come back, their stocks are not going to come back. So bye-bye, Tesla. Thank you.
I just arrived in Malta a couple of hours ago, and look, first thing, I have already seen one BYD vehicle here getting charged, and I still have not seen a single Tesla. So this is a message to fellow investors out there, especially in Tesla. And I was a huge fan of Tesla, still like Tesla and everything that's been doing. But I can tell you, outside of the United States, the competition is real, and Tesla is not having a good time. If you have no idea where Malta is, this is in Europe. And in a European country, Tesla sales obviously have dropped by a lot. But if you are on the ground, you'll be able to see it by yourself. Here you go, BYD. Whereas Tesla, I haven't seen a single one. And I think this trend is going to continue like this. This is why I sold my Tesla stock and bought BYD. And it was not because I am anti-Tesla or Elon, but it's simply the reality is screaming something different. The markets want something different. They want BYD. It seems to be better vehicles, much cheaper. And with all the politics now, I think things will get much worse. So, you know, if you're in the US, you might not be able to see this yourself, but outside of the US, everybody knows the truth that BYD has already won the battle.
Why, hello there, how are you doing? Happy Friday. I had to tag my own comment because a mutual who did this video, she doesn't have stitches on, but she had stitched Damon John's video talking about, oh, it's not political, buy Tesla. And she was speaking about the fact that the brand in and of itself has been damaged and we don't really see it coming back. And I concur with her from a couple of perspectives, because most people pay attention to what's taking place here in the US and not paying attention to the global impacts. And while Damon has more than I do, the world does not revolve around us. The United States is not the center of the universe. And the thing is that a lot of what's taking place outside of our nation speaks volumes. And the reaction that's taking place here also speaks volumes. So You have a brand that was tarnished because of a salute that affected 70 million lives. 70 million lives were lost throughout the entirety of World War II. It's a salute that is outlawed in Germany. It's a salute that brings back disgust. And no matter how many times people try to justify it and claim it's something that it was not, people are not stupid. Anyhow, that was one thing. So we, of course, in this country that the salute originated in, is why you've seen the dramatic drop in purchases of Tesla. And the drop has been going throughout Europe. And here in the United States, we've seen like an 11 or 12% drop. But here is also one of the things why the brand in and of itself is not just by the person at the top. And it is as follows. In Canada, where you had that they're going to be going after Tesla as a brand because of the shady shenanigans that took place with their EV rebates, that the millions that they claimed, that when what the Tesla dealerships are trying to say is that in a single weekend they sold so many Teslas for the amount of rebate money that they collected, they would have had to have been selling 2 Teslas a minute throughout the entire 72 hours. So there was no sleep, no closing, no nothing. Then you have people here in the US and also in Canada that have been saying that Tesla has been gaming their miles on their vehicles so that it would void the warranty, so that they would avoid having to make repairs. So you have those two things that are also tarnishing the brand. So it's, of course, the biggest impact was the salute, and then these other issues at hand. Then, of course, you have the Tesla version of the Ford Edsel, which is now the truck, that has had how many myriads of recalls. And the consistent promises of saying that they would have had a Roadster out, no Roadster has shown up. Those are the things that will affect the brand in and of itself. And people are not stupid, people are not blind. His comment is driven by, you probably have stuck in there, well, good for him. But, nah. And there's a lot more as to why. It's not going to come back, especially the way they think. And that's why I highlighted in here about that they have fallen behind more technologically than people wish to admit. And the part 2, because their biggest impact is a single company, BYD. Follow me for part 2. Part 2. So as I mentioned in my previous video, that I spoke about the impacts from all of the other things that have taken place with regards to the brand in and of itself. But at the end, talk about one company, as mentioned here, BYD. BYD started out as a battery company in 1995. So contrary to what some people are saying, that, it's like they were copying Tesla, etc. But in 2000 is when they started working on their own vehicles. And they have managed to move the needle a lot more than Tesla has when it comes to the number of models of electric vehicles that they have and their efficiency, and most definitely the cost. And to the point where they have a luxury arm of BYD called Yangwang. So you don't have a luxury arm of Tesla. Tesla was supposed to be the luxury arm of whatever. That's what's supposed to have been the brand of Tesla. And compared to like Yangwang or some others, is wanting. Anyway, here is also another reason why there will be BYD will continue to be the thorn in the side of Tesla. This right here. BYD Shenzhen, the world's largest car carrier, is ready for operations. This cargo ship for roll on, roll off, ship to ship, is going to be able to carry 9,200 vehicles. That ship's maiden voyage will be to Brazil. Now, here is again how that particular company and the Chinese, the country as a whole, how a certain move can affect an entire nation. So Tesla has seen dramatic drops worldwide on not just the name brand, but the vehicle sales and earnings. So in the third quarter of 2022 through to the fourth quarter of 2023, BYD had sold more vehicles than Tesla worldwide. Then Tesla recaptured the market for the first 2 quarters of 2024, and from that point on, it's been downhill. And for the first time, Tesla was outsold, not just in the number of vehicles, but also in terms of money. BYD's earnings for 2024 topped $117 billion compared to Tesla's $97 billion. So you can see there has been a dramatic shift. Now, here in the US, we know that we have a tariff, quote unquote, war taking place. And here is where you're going to see a move by a country and its government is also going to affect the Tesla brand and our nation too. As I've said before, that cargo ship is heading to Brazil. Brazil has been a trading partner for China, and they've increased their trade as a result of what took place during the first US-China tariff war of 2018-2019. Since they have opened up their markets even more to China, China is going to take advantage of that to be able to ship them more vehicles, which will then, of course, then affect Tesla's bottom line. A lot of what's taking place outside of the borders of the United States is not being reported here. So people are clueless as to what's taking place. You have where the EU signed to create with South America, which of course includes Brazil, the largest free trade zone in the world. What does that do? It leaves the United States out of it. China strengthened its ties with the EU, so they're shipping more electric vehicles to the EU, which would, of course, in turn, drive down sales of Tesla. China is strengthening its with Canada. It strengthened its ties with Mexico because they're shipping vehicles, BYD vehicles, to Mexico. You have BYD vehicles in the Caribbean. It's in Australia. So you're seeing the effects of their reach. Now, especially I really want to touch on the Brazil thing and how the effects of it are, and not just encapsulating the piece with regards to Tesla. And I'll do that in a part 3. All right, hopefully this will be the last one. So you have a CEO of a car brand that is tied to the leader of a nation. Now, you have where one of the countries, namely China, has been basically giving the US the finger, and they have expanded their reach. And it started again because they had been out there before, but they weren't going as heavy as it did until that first dust up in 2018, 2019. Now, further reminders for some people, because I know some people have long-term memory loss. During that first dust up, China had purchased 4% of its soybean and corn import from the United States. When that happened in 2018, 2019, they lowered the amount that they purchased from the United States, and they went to Brazil to purchase their soybeans and corn and other grains. What that did is that it shifted the power base from the US overseas. To try and mitigate losses that we had here, the trade envoy went to the EU to help offset the losses. So it did lower it. So the only thing that we had to do to save the farmers was a bailout of $45 billion. Then there's a whole lot of that I'm not even going to get into there. But now here we are yet again at another dust up with even more retaliatory tariffs. And so China said, well, I learned from the last time. Y'all did what you did in 2018 and 2019. And that is, we did not put all our eggs back in one basket here in the US. What they had done when they had lowered that from 48% down to 20%, they raised their imports from Brazil from 13% to now where it's at 43%. So they have no need to purchase soybeans and corn. At the same time, it's our beef farmers who would export about $21 billion in beef to China is also going through the same thing. So what China has done is it's redirected its buying again from the United States to Brazil and to Argentina. So when they had their the Panama Canal, where the president was there complaining about the presence of China there. When did they start? Okay, almost 10 years ago. Okay, so what was also happening, and as again I've said, there are things that had happened outside of the US that was not reported here, so people here are not aware, so they think that they must deal with us, and they don't have to. And it's, of course, it's a detriment to the American people, and of course some of the Chinese people as well, because of the ties that they've had. But that's why they said they can wait us out, because they had other avenues that they were able to pursue. So like companies like BYD, because they have been out there in the forefront, they've opened the way with the help of the Chinese government to be able to purchase from other sources. What that meant is that the things that the other countries would purchase from us, they no longer find that they have the need to. As again, I'll come back to BYD. BYD has its luxury arm, Yangwon. Yangwon has stuff that Tesla has failed to produce. They have a Roadster. Tesla hasn't produced theirs. They have an SUV, a true SUV. Tesla hasn't been able to produce that. They have trucks. But here's the difference between what we've heard with regards to this current truck, the dystopian truck, versus theirs actually can float. Because we already know that the Cybertruckers, they sink like rocks. Their Yangwang U8 actually has demonstrated a vehicle with people in it, that it floats for 30 minutes. So areas that would have prone to flooding, especially outside of the US, they're going to go that route. The ties that bind will also be ties that drag down. So, I do not see Tesla recovering or being anything like it was before.
We're about to go in here! In the car! Oh! Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God, are we sinking? Oh my God, we're sinking! Oh, wait. We're in the car and it's sinking. Oh my God. We are really in the car and it's flowing in the car. Oh my God! Oh my God! This car's not sinking! It's not sinking! It's not sinking and we're in the car! I'm done! Hey, China got it! And these Chinese cars got it! Hey, these China cars got it, bro! Oh! Oh, fuck! Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Oh, my God!
Okay, how is this even possible? This is a new off-road SUV from BYD that costs less than $20,000. Like, this would be a nice interior on a $40,000 car, much less a $20,000 car. This thing has a digital gauge cluster, which something like the Model 3 doesn't have at all. And this thing is as big as a Model Y, and it's pretty decent looking. That's just a good looking SUV right there. And it has a fridge built in. I had to look this up, but yes, it has a fridge. It's a small fridge. It can only hold 4 cans, but it has a fridge in a car that costs less than 30 grand for the most specced out version. Okay, I thought the nicest version was the fridge version, but that one's $24,000. The nicest version is the drone version, which has a docking station for a drone on the roof, and that one costs $28,000. You can see the drone in this marketing image right here, and that's the docking station on top. When this is a $28,000 car, what are we doing in the United States? Also, as far as I can tell, every single version comes with this little cargo box on the back for extra storage space, which is just cool. It's honestly painful that we can't get cars like this in the United States. That is a decent looking off-road compact SUV for $20,000.